What if I told you that Caitlin Clark's next move might not just change her life, but the entire future of women's basketball? For months, she's been the WNBA's biggest star, the ratings magnet, the face of the league, the one carrying it on her back while others drag her name through the mud. But now, a shocking new offer might flip everything upside down. A Saudi-backed global basketball league called Project B is preparing to throw around absurd money, not millions, but hundreds of millions. And yes, Caitlin Clark is at the top of their list.
And Saudi Arabia has gotten more and more involved in sports over the past decade. Probably the biggest league that they started was Live Golf, which directly competed with the PGA and also stole some of the biggest PGA golfers because they were able to offer them insane contracts. Like the #1 Live Golf player earned $300 million. Phil Mickelson earned $200 million, and the list goes on and on.
So here's the question everyone's asking. Does Caitlin stay loyal to the league that never protected her? Or does she finally cash in and get paid what she's actually worth? Because if these rumors are true, her next contract could make every WNBA paycheck look like pocket change. If you'd asked anyone a few weeks ago whether Caitlin Clark would ever play anywhere other than the WNBA, the answer would have been simple: not a chance. She turned down Unrivaled twice. She turned down Ice Cube's Big Three. She even skipped international tournaments just to stay focused on the W. But now, things have changed. Behind the scenes, Project B, a new Saudi-funded global basketball league, is quietly assembling an all-star roster of investors, athletes, and executives. And they aren't thinking small. This league isn't some sideshow or gimmick. It's being built by serious people. Grady Burnett, a former Google and Facebook executive, Jeff Parents, co-founder of Skype, and Alana Beard, a former WNBA star who's now the league's chief basketball officer. Their mission: build a women's basketball league that pays like men's sports and puts the players, not the bureaucracy, at the center of everything. And to make that happen, they're ready to pay 10 times current WNBA salaries. Let that sink in. 10 times. While a WNBA Supermax deal caps out around $850,000, Project B is offering millions, maybe even 8-figure contracts. And that's before you count sponsorship equity, travel perks, and ownership stakes in the league itself. For a star like Caitlin Clark, that's not just money, that's generational wealth. So what exactly is this mysterious new league? Project B is planned as a global tour, 6 teams, 11 players each, traveling across Asia, Europe, and the Americas. 7 tournaments, each lasting 2 weeks during the WNBA offseason. 14 weeks of basketball, first-class travel. No red-eye flights, no cramped coach seats, no endless back-to-backs. And here's the kicker: it doesn't technically overlap with the WNBA season. On paper, players could play in both. But let's be real. Once you're cashing 7-figure checks for a 14-week season, are you really flying back to play for a tenth of the money and double the grind? Not likely. If Project B succeeds, it will do to the WNBA what Live Golf did to the PGA Tour: steal its stars by paying them what they're worth. And Saudi Arabia has the track record to back it up. Cristiano Ronaldo, $700 million. Neymar, $300 million. Phil Mickelson, $200 million. Now imagine those numbers applied to women's basketball, and Caitlin Clark sitting in the middle of it. It's not fantasy. It's a business model built to disrupt. For most of her career, Caitlin Clark has been loyal to the W. She's spoken about growing the league, inspiring young girls, and giving back. But loyalty only lasts so long when you're underpaid, over-criticized, and physically targeted every single game. The truth? The WNBA hasn't treated Caitlin Clark like a superstar. It's treated her like a threat. She's been mocked by veteran players, fouled hard with no protection. Even the officiating seems to go against her more often than not. And through all of that, the league's leadership, especially Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, stayed silent.
Candace Parker's involved in this, folks. Candace Parker's involved in this. You don't think she's talking to Aaliyah Boston during the podcast? Hey, AB, I got this thing. I know you're getting paid this and Unrivaled, but we could pay you this over here. I'm sure she's having that conversation. I'm sure she's having that conversation with a lot of players in the WNBA. The question is, how much are they offering, and will they jump ship?
Players like Candace Parker have even called out that silence publicly, comparing Engelbert's disconnection to how NBA Commissioner Adam Silver treats his stars. When Adam Silver sends baby gifts and Christmas texts, Engelbert doesn't even send a thank you. So imagine Caitlin, After a brutal rookie season, endless drama, and constant media noise, suddenly being offered $100 million to play in a league that treats her like royalty. Private jets. Creative control. Equity ownership. Respect. That's not just tempting, that's redemption.
And I'll tell you this. I signed a deal with Amazon to broadcast for Amazon. I got a text from Adam Silver saying congratulations. I had my third child. I got a text from Adam Silver about my third child. Now, whether this is Adam or his assistant, somebody from the league office is reaching out to me. I got a baby gift for my third child. I get a Christmas gift from Adam Silver every year. I retired. Adam Silver sent me a text message that basically congratulated me on my career and how much I've done for the women's game, and he looked forward to how much I'm going to do from the sideline. I have not heard from Kathy.
Now, this is where things get even more interesting. Multiple reports say Candace Parker herself is involved in Project B, not just as an investor, but as a recruiter. If true, that changes everything. Because Candace isn't some fringe figure, she's the most respected voice in women's basketball, and she's been outspoken about the WNBA's leadership problems for years. Candace has direct relationships with nearly every top star, from Aja Wilson to Aaliyah Boston. You don't think she's quietly talking to them? Imagine this conversation. Hey Aaliyah, I know you're making 6 figures in the W, but what if I could get you $5 million to play for 14 weeks, first-class everything, full creative control, and a piece of the league itself? That's not a sales pitch, that's a mic drop. Candace Parker could become to Project B what Greg Norman was to LEV Golf, the bridge that pulls the top talent away from the old system. And once a few stars sign on, the dominoes fall fast. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The money. Right now, the WNBA's max salary sits around $240,000 for most players, with a handful reaching the $850,000 mark under the next CBA proposal. Meanwhile, Project B's investors are openly telling people they'll pay 10 times that amount. That means a player like Sophie Cunningham, someone with charisma, fan appeal, and solid game, could earn $5 million for one short season. $5 million. That's not just a raise, that's a life-changing number.
A player like Sophie Cunningham, in all honesty, a player like Sophie Cunningham, who is a good contributor to a team, and we know has star power. She's got the looks. She's got the personality. The Saudis are liable to pay Sophie Cunningham $5 million in that league. There is no chance of her earning that from the Unrivaled or from the WNBA. And they're not going to agree. You can bet these WNBA players already know how much the Saudis are willing to pay.
So how much would Caitlin Clark command? Reports say early offers could start around $50 million, but many analysts and even investors close to the league believe she could fetch up to $200 million. And here's the thing, it still makes business sense. Caitlin Clark is responsible for half of all WNBA viewership. Team valuations have doubled since she entered the league. The new $2 billion media deal, her name is on that, whether the league admits it or not. She's been independently valued at over $1 billion in total economic impact. So if Project B offered her $200 million over 3 years, that wouldn't be crazy, it would be strategic. Because the moment Caitlin Clark signs, the league instantly becomes global. Sponsors flood in, broadcast partners line up, and Project B goes from unknown to unstoppable. If Caitlin signs, it's game over for Unrivaled. It's game over for the WNBA's current structure. Now, here's where things get complicated. Caitlin Clark isn't just an athlete. She's a brand, a symbol, a role model. And she knows that signing with a Saudi-backed league could stir backlash. Critics would say she's chasing money. Fans would debate her legacy. Sponsors might hesitate, at least at first. But history has a short memory when the results speak for themselves. Back in the 2010s, Diana Taurasi skipped an entire WNBA season to play in Russia for a single contract that paid more than her W salary combined.
There was a time when Russia paid Diana Taurasi to only play in Russia. So she skipped an entire year in the WNBA because Russia was able to pay her a salary that basically kept her out of the WNBA. It kept Diana Taurasi out of the WNBA, and then when she came back, it didn't harm her legacy at all.
When she came back, did anyone question her legacy? Not a chance. Now imagine Caitlyn taking $200 million for 3 years, then returning to the WNBA at 27 years old, still in her prime, still with global fame, and financially set for life. Her brand would be bigger than ever. Her influence would transcend the league that once undervalued her. And ironically, that might even save the WNBA, because when she comes back, she brings leverage, real leverage. If the WNBA won't pay its stars what they're worth, someone else will. That's the message Project B is sending loud and clear. At the end of the day, this isn't just about one player's contract. It's about what happens when power shifts, when the players finally hold the cards. For years, the WNBA's leadership ignored the warning signs: bad officiating, low pay, disconnect from fans, and a commissioner who seemed more worried about control than progress. Now a Saudi-backed league is stepping into that gap, with unlimited funding and no patience for politics. And for Caitlin Clark, that means one thing: choices. Real life-changing choices. Stay loyal to a system that limits her value, or take the leap and redefine what women's basketball can be. So what do you think? Should Caitlyn take the deal if it's real? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the drama shaping the WNBA's future, because trust me, the story of Caitlin Clark and Project B is just getting started.